Good morning, all, depending on when you're watching this. Good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, I had a voice for radio. So today, I am bringing you news of the rotation. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the rotation has been announced. It's time to talk about it. Now, for those of you that are newer to the game or haven't been through a rotation before, every year after the World Championships, certain expansions of the Pokemon trading card game are no longer legal for tournament play. So far this season and up until the 1st of September, we've been playing Primal Clash onwards, which means any sets that were released earlier than Primal Clash cannot be used in standard tournaments. But ladies and gentlemen, as of 1st of September this year, we are going to Breakthrough on, which means we are losing Primal Clash, Roaring Skies, and Ancient Origins, as long as the little mini-set Double Crisis. Now, in terms of promo cards, we are keeping 67 and up, which isn't a huge change because we've been going 36 and up so far, so a lot of promo cards are staying. This means we will keep all of the Break Pokemon. None of them are being rotated because they debuted in the Breakthrough expansion. And in terms of the expanded format, it was black and white on last year, it's black and white on this year, but the press release that Pokemon gave out on their website said it is being aggressively monitored. So I think we can assume there will be some new bans coming in place in the expanded format very soon, and my first guess, Forest of Giant Plants. Now, this is our first main rotation video. I'm going to go through the biggest changes that have been brought about by the rotation, and then I'm going to be doing a separate video on each set that we're losing, going into detail about all the cards that are being lost. This is really the headline video. We're going to have a couple a day until we've gone through it in great detail. I didn't get the first video out because you know what? I figured rather than being the first video, let's try and be the best video. So, there are certain decks that are no longer even remotely viable. I'm only talking here about decks where the main Pokemon have rotated and you cannot play this deck anymore, even if you want to. The old Mega Gardevoir is going, ladies and gentlemen. It's not coming back. It's gone. Primal Groudon is going, ladies and gentlemen. It's gone. Wailord, oh my goodness, we had some fun with Wailord when it almost won the national championship, but he gone. Mega Rayquaza, the one that's been ruling the format for so long on and off. It's had pros, it's had cons, it's had dips, it's had heights, but it's gone now. Vespiquen is going, ladies and gentlemen. We lost Flareon a while back, now we've lost Vespiquen. Gyarados, he gone. And any Vileplume variants now cannot be played because Vileplume is going. Now, that's not to say that other decks haven't been made not viable, but I'm saying they're the main decks where the main attackers have been rotated out. The other big news, deck building has just changed a lot because we are losing Versus Seeker, which means we can no longer just throw supporter cards into our discard and hope to use Versus Seeker to grab them back again. They are gone. What does this mean? Well, it means we're going to be playing thicker supporter lines. Now, we are losing Lysander, but we're keeping Guzma. But of course, previously, we would use 2 Lysander and 4 Versus Seeker, so in the late game, we just Versus Seeker for the win. This means we're likely to be playing thicker lines of these supporters. Some people have suggested using Puzzle of Time to reuse supporters, and that, of course, is an option. Finding supporters is no longer an issue. We've got Tapu Lele. It's reusing them that's a problem. And you know what, ladies and gentlemen? I think people might start playing 3 or 4 Tapu Lele in a lot of decks and thicker lines of supporters to give that consistency they're losing because of Versus Seeker. And as if losing Versus Seeker wasn't bad enough, we are losing Shaymin EX. Now, we've still got a Rangaroo, we've still got Octillery, but they're not as good as Shaymin. If they were, they would be seeing play. Now, we've still got Tapu Lele, and a lot of people have been dropping Shaymin so that they can play more Tapu Lele because it's less of a liability and it has a better attack. But be prepared to see a lot more Octillery going forward. The good news is we've kept both N and Professor Sycamore, so our supporter draw is as good as it always was. Now, the other really big things we lost Hex Maniac. Single turn ability lock is gone, ladies and gentlemen. We've still got Garbodor. But you've got to have that down for the game. Although I suppose you could play a field blower and get rid of the tool on your own Garbodor if you wished, but that's a little bit of a problem. And of course you'll then have to get the tool back on him the following turn. We used to be able to use Versus Seeker for Hex Maniac or Tapu Lele for Hex Maniac to get that one crucial turn of ability lock. We don't have it anymore. That is going to really do good for ability focused decks. We've lost Mega Turbo, so every Mega deck that didn't just get rotated has gotten worse. Rayquaza has gone, the old Mega Gardevoir has gone, but you know what? The newer Mega Gardevoir is still here, but losing Mega Turbo is a very bad thing. That deck is not going to be as good as it was. And of course, we've lost Forest of Giant Plants, so all grass decks just got an awful lot worse. Decidueye, still in the format, but if you cannot just randomly evolve Decidueye whenever you feel like it, I think we can all agree it's going to be an awful lot worse than it has been up to now. Whenever I do a video about a grass evolution Pokemon, I say, but of course, you've got Forest of Giant Plants to evolve whenever you want. Well, you don't anymore, ladies and gentlemen. That means grass decks just got worse. Although one really odd thing for me, we're keeping Bridget and we're keeping Zoroark Break. And my question is, are these going to receive erratas? Because Bridget was designed to get you 3 non-EX or 1 EX. But this was when GX weren't even a thing. If it was printed nowadays, of course, it would say you can only get 1 GX. At the moment, Bridget is, and I mean this in the most literal sense of the word, broken. The card doesn't do what it was designed to do. I think it's going to receive an errata. For newer players, an errata is where Pokemon changes the wording on a card, so even though it doesn't say it, that's how we read it. Like the old prints of Pokemon Catcher were far too good, it was Lysander in an item, so for a while we read it as flip a coin, and then they started printing ones that said flip a coin. But for a while, even though it didn't say flip a coin, we all knew that you had to flip a coin. So, I think Bridget may well receive an errata. Similarly, Zoroark Break. You can copy a GX attack for 1 Dark Energy. We didn't have GX attacks when Zoroark Break was printed. I think Zoroark Break and Bridget are now too good by virtue of the fact that they were printed before GXs were a thing and now they can take advantage. I would not be surprised to see an errata coming. So those are the headlines, ladies and gentlemen, the really big cards that are rotating and what they mean. I am going to do a video about every set individually, but while we're here, I thought it might be fun to very quickly just run through the main cards we're losing from each set. I'm not going to go into great amounts of detail. Like I said, you're getting a video about each of these sets, but I thought it might be fun. So from Primal Clash, we're losing Wailord EX, Milotic, Primal Groudon. Now, Primal Groudon was reprinted in Ancient Origins with a much worse ancient trait, but that's rotating as well. And the old Mega Gardevoir, as long as the trainer cards Acrobike, Dive Ball, Rough Seas, Silent Lab, and Teammates. From Roaring Skies, we're losing Articuno, which is a bit sad because he was getting a little bit of new life with Whimsicott. We're losing Mega Rayquaza, which was also reprinted as a secret rare in Ancient Origins for worse ancient trait, but that's rotating as well. And we're losing Shaymin, as long as the trainer cards Mega Turbo, Skyfield, Trainer's Mail, Double Dragon Energy, and Versus Seeker. Last year we were so happy that Versus Seeker was being kept in the format just because it was reprinted as a secret rare in Roaring Skies. Not the case anymore. From Ancient Origins, we're losing Vileplume, Vespiquen, the Flareon, Vaporeon, Jolteon combo that changed the types of your Stage 1s, Gyarados, and Unown, as long as the trainer cards Forest of Giant Plants, Hex Maniac, Level Ball, and Lysander, although do remember that Guzma is going to be a fairly good replacement for Lysander. In Double Crisis, we're not losing very much at all, but we are losing Team Aqua's secret base, which did see some play early on with Seismitoad, and Team Magma's secret base, which has had a bit of a resurgence lately between Gyarados and Drampa. And with the X and Y promos, we're not losing very much at all, to be perfectly honest. We're losing Ditto, which did see a little bit of play here and there, and we're losing Regirock, and as much as I love Regirock, he kind of needed Focus Sash to be good, so I can't be too upset that we're losing him. We are keeping a whole bunch of good ones though, like Jirachi, like Cooper, like Celebi, etc. So, these are the headlines of Rotation, the things you need to know right this second. But over the next couple of days, you are going to be getting a bespoke video about each set, so make sure you watch all of them. I will, of course, make them into a playlist at the end. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, comment what you're going to miss. What cards are you really going to miss from Rotation? Make sure you follow me on Twitter @TheWassy, on Twitch twitch.tv/PTCGRadio, and if you want to support the channel, you can do so at patreon.com/PTCGRadio. The most important thing as always, look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.